In this video, we're going to look at two different ways to quantize MIDI notes. And so here I have two very different clips. One is a swing reggae hi-hat clip, and let's listen to that. All right, and the other one is this Rhythm Rager kit doing a dance hall basic, beat. And I have removed the hi-hat from this before I, set it up for the video, because I want to add this hi-hat into that. Now I could just copy and paste, and that would lose the sound of the kit. So what we want to do is combine these two. Now they're already playing at the same tempo, and so that's not an issue. But they do have an issue with groove. When we play them together, they don't sound that great. It's okay, but if you're really sensitive to the groove, you'll hear some conflict in the kind of the rhythmic style. So there's a few ways that we can fix this. So let's look at this hi-hat here, and we can quantize this if we want to. Quantization is when you line rhythms up to the grid. So I'm going to change this to a fixed grid, 16th note grid there. And you can see that these are way off grid. Maybe I'll change it to a 32nd note grid, and that's closer. Maybe how about a 16th note triplet grid? And again, the way I'm doing this, if you watch the earlier video, is just to right click on the grid and choose these options. It looks like that's the closest one, the 16th triplet grid. And so what I can do here is go to the side and go to the transform box here. And there's a bunch of different functions within this transform box. I'm going to select quantize. And I'm going to declick this transform box right here. If it's left on, any adjustment I make here will be automatically applied over here. And I don't want that yet, so I turned it off. So I'm going to select 16th notes, and I'm going to select triplets, since that's my grid. And I'm going to select start and end. And then I'm going to click this button right here, and it will apply those changes. Boom. So now it has sort of taken the variation out of the rhythm, and it has made them metronomically perfect to the 16th note triplet. Let's turn the metronome on and hear it. It's still kind of cool, but it really has lost its flavor of groove. And that's one thing you want to be careful about when quantizing your parts. If you're really good at drumming, if you're really good at finger drumming, if you're really good at drumming on a drum set, and that drum set has MIDI triggers hooked up to each drum, and they're going in, as MIDI that way, just think twice about how much quantization you're doing. I can adjust the amount here, and now if I put that transform on, it will go ahead and automatically apply that, and you can see the notes kind of scooting around. There's 0. Let's do 30%. Let's not do the ends. How about that? Let's do 16th plus 16th triplet, which is kind of a cool feature in this new quantization box in Ableton. It's kept a lot more of that rhythmic integrity, that stylistic integrity. If you make things too perfect, they're not going to sound good, especially with drums. But with anything, part of the joy in music and playing with other people and interacting with humans is that nothing's perfect. And so if you make things perfect, I don't know, I'm not saying it's bad, it's just going to be less human. It'll sound more machine driven, which if that's what you're going for, fine. But in this case, this is a reggae swing. There's a lot of humanity involved in those terms. So instead of quantizing this to a grid, we actually do have another option. And so what I'm going to do is put that at the 0 amount and fold that box up. And instead, I'm going to go up to my browser here into my groove pool, and there are a bunch of groove files here. If I click on a file, you'll hear a series of clicks go by. And what that is sort of a quantization template that can be applied to multiple clips and tracks, so that instead of being quantized to the grid, you're quantized to that groove. And the groove is not just the rhythm, it's also the note velocities, and you can adjust how much of each. So let me show you what I mean by that. I already have a groove in the groove pool here, and it's this disco live feel 16ths. All right. And if I'm on this clip and I look right here where it says groove and it says none, I can drag that down and that gets added to this groove pool. It was already there, but if it wasn't there, it would have been there. And now I can change a bunch of different things to increase or decrease the strength of it. If I want the timing to be at 100% strength, I can do that, the quantization. And it will not show up visually down here, but it will show up like in your ears. If you can't hear this stuff, don't worry. The more you produce and the more you try this, the better your ears will get and the more sensitive you'll be musically. Just keep trying. So let's quantize this to that groove. And I'm actually going to quantize the velocity too. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's a whole different clip now. I don't know that I like that. I'm going to put this back to 50 where it was. And I'm going to take this quantization down to like maybe 80. Okay, and now I'm going to do the exact same thing to this basic dance hall. It's a much simpler rhythm, so it will affect it slightly differently. But now if we play them both together, not only are they in the same tempo now, but they're in the same groove. They've got the same rhythmic feel to them. And so groove quantization is a very powerful tool for quantizing your MIDI notes. You can also quantize audio in live. That'll be for another video. But there you go, groove quantization and grid quantization. Start experimenting with them.